Morning Coffee with Cliff, everybody. You are in the right place. I love going live in the vertical mode of YouTube. Why? Because I know it shows up in the shorts feed. Well, I don't need my earphones. It's just me today. Just me and you. So we're good without it. Let me get these. Let's not be entangled here, if we can help it. All right, everybody, let me know where you are in the world. I'm in the Thousand Island region of upstate New York. I'm in the US of A. I'm in the state of New York. Let me know where you're coming at this beautiful Sunday. Let's start our week strong. I like to start my weeks on Sunday. I like to start getting after it. And one of those things that I had decided ahead of time, last night, planning my day the day before, it's a key. You start doing that, you're going to start winning your days because you're going to be starting the night before. Don't wait for the day of to plan your day. Then you're behind. You might as well start planning the next day. All right, everybody, let me know where you are in the world. Fortune favors the bold, so get on that keyboard or phone or whatever. And hey, what's up? Tommy Lynn Thompson. So glad you're here, my brother. Oh, man, it's good to connect with you. I have to talk with you. I got a lot of great things happening in my world, my life, and I hope you do too now. Hey, it's a new day today. We can start right now going forward. The past does not equal the future. We can take our lessons and wisdom from the past, bring it forward to today, and apply them. However, there are no rear view mirrors on a jet. They move forward fast, and they rise high, and they have a new destination to go to. I don't know where I'm going with this. All I know is I'm here live with you, and I want you to know I'm not AI generated. There is no green screen behind me. And I love doing these morning coffee rants and raves because it's raw, real. I don't know where it's going to go. There are no notes. There's no bullet points. There's not a script. There's no teleprompter. And so that can give you some solace knowing nothing is planned today. And so isn't that the best way to connect with people, with no preconceived ideas and thoughts in your head, but you just let it happen naturally, organically, I guess is what they like to call it. So, hey, I'm glad you're here. You're in the right place if you haven't already. You know what to do, people all around the world. Subscribe to the channel. Join a community of progress. You're going to be around like-minded people, people of a higher vibration, a higher frequency. And boy, that's when you start becoming magnetic to the things that you want to attract in your life. I know because I've done it. It's happened to me. I got a track record of seeing it happen. That's why I get excited about sharing these thoughts, ideas, and philosophies that can help us live a greater life today than we did yesterday. Constant and never-ending improvement. That is great coffee. Who made this coffee? Oh, I did. Give yourselves credit in life. Hey, everybody, thanks for checking in. I'm Cliff Yates. You're in the right place. Retired cop, comedian, writer, actor, producer, just like you. All of us have many facets, many levels, many sides to all of us. Hey, thumbs up. I love it. Who else we got here? I want to recognize you and bring your comment right on the board. I am Korean. I was called by Jesus. Heaven and hell are real. Hell is burning forever with sulfur in the center of the earth. Repent. Come back to Jesus. As a matter of fact, I am in Jesus. As a matter of fact, thank you very much, my friend in Jesus. I'm so glad to connect with you. As a matter of fact, going along with my morning habit of creating my morning gratitude journal. Every morning, I write, what am I most grateful for in my life? And I write 10 things. Today, number 1, God and Jesus. Number 1, what I'm grateful for in my life. Every morning, I try to sit with Scripture. I don't know how long always, but I try to habituate. Do I make it every day? No. Pretty much every day, I do make it. Trust in God and His mighty courage. You know what? Rejoice in the Lord always. I always think of Philippians 4. Rejoice in the Lord always. Rejoice. The tough part of that whole Scripture verse is, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer, petition, and with thanksgiving, present your requests to God, and the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Jesus Christ. God, the peace of God. God is spirit, omnipresent. It transcends us understanding. That's why we want to be of the higher frequency. When we start getting into the higher frequencies of communicating, we are communicating with something that is above and beyond what we can understand with our five senses. And man, that's going to lead to a greater life for sure. All right, everybody, I'm glad you're here. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, I like going live in the vertical mode. It connects with people who aren't already subscribed. YouTube likes to push shorts out there, so I know if I'm in the vertical mode, they push it out to the shorts feed, and I connect with a lot more people than I do in my normal horizontal long-form content. But that's what I'm about today, growing a community of content. I like to grow the channel bigger, one quality person at a time, and the next quality person is you. I'm glad you're here. I'm Cliff Yates, 68 years young. Yeah, that's a lot of years. However, ambition-wise, fitness-wise, energy-wise, I'm still 29, so I hope I can connect with you in a real raw way. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, we got a lot of people jumping on today. I'm so happy about that. Great to connect with you in a real raw. Louisiana's in the house. All right. I like it when somebody has the balls. I'll say it. All right. The courage to jump on here and just, you know what? Say where you're from, Louisiana. Glad you're here. I'm in the Thousand Island region of upstate New York, the St. Lawrence River to be exact. I'm on an island. There's a New York side of the St. Lawrence River, and there's a Canadian side of the St. Lawrence River. So all of this water that I'm surrounded with here flows north past Montreal into the Atlantic Ocean, but it comes out of Lake Ontario, the last great lake. Think of it this way. This water that I'm surrounded by here actually went over Niagara Falls and eventually made it right past my island. Kind of a crazy way to think about it. Louisiana, glad you're here in the house. All right. Gosh, Louisiana. Is it Louisiana that I listen to? The Robertsons. They have a podcast called Unashamed. Do you know Phil Robertson? He was the head guy of the family, the Robinsons, on that show, Duck Dynasty. Yeah, isn't that where he went to Louisiana? Yeah. Phil Robertson was a kind of a famous in college quarterback. And he stepped down, and Terry Bradshaw took his place, and the rest is history, NFL history. Thanks for reminding me. Saratoga is open. Are you talking about the racetrack? All right, let's place a bet. I don't bet. I don't gamble. I don't know, maybe because I know that I get obsessed. I get immersed in things. I have an addictive personality maybe. So I become addicted to getting better every day in every way than I was yesterday. I get addicted to, can I become more fit? Can I get stronger every day? Can I be more courageous? Can I live a better life today than I did yesterday? So those are the kinds of things I've applied my addictive behavior to. So it's not always a negative thing to be obsessed, to get immersed in something, to become so focused on a certain subject that you dive deep into it, as long as it has a good, positive side effect, right? You get addicted to exercise and fitness. What's the side effect? You might be adding life to your years, and I would hope years to your life. Listen, if these are the kind of things that resonate with you, subscribe to the channel. Let's get a community of progress that gets bigger and bigger. How big can it grow? How big does a tree grow? As big as it can? How big or how much should we grow? How much should we expand and express ourselves as much as we can? As I studied Jim Rohn many years ago, one of his seminars, somebody asked him, I make $50,000 a year. Is that enough? He said $50,000 a year is enough. It's if it's the best you can do. If it's not, then no, it's not. That's what most troubles the mind, when we're not doing all that we know we can do. You know in your heart and soul, if you're meant for more, you should be doing more. You have that feeling deep inside. You know what? There's more that is meant for me, more than I should be doing. Not everybody has this mindset. Not everybody has this drive. I know because you get around people and they're not of the same intensity. Really, they're not of the same vibration or frequency that you are. And when you get around people who are, you are pulled to them. They're pulled to you. There's a connection. There is a positivity and a negativity. There is a magnetism. And if you're in a higher frequency, higher vibration, somebody comes into your area of influence and they're of a negative vibration, you're repelled by them. You don't want to be around them, and they probably feel the same about you. All right, everybody. Good to connect with people today. I'm glad that I jumped on the camera today. Sometimes you just have to do it. Don't overthink it. Don't think about it. And you know that's when the best things happen to us, when we don't think about it. You can look back and say, Jesus, you know what? Yes, Jesus, thank you. You think to yourself, wow, you know what? Thank goodness that happened. And when I started doing it, I really didn't think about it. I just acted. I acted out of intuition. And that's one of the higher frequencies we have, right? Think about the higher frequency. Animals, as far as we know, they only operate by instinct. We, God's highest form of creation, have been taken away our instinct, and we've been giving the higher faculties of perception, will, imagination, memory, intuition, reason. We have all those available to us if we're going to use them. Perception, how we see things, the way in which we see things, the meaning that we give things, we can change those. We have the neuroplasticity of our brain to actually be able to change, as Bob Proctor would say, our paradigm, the way we look at things, the way we process information. Sure, the first 7 or 8 years, we were an open book. Our subconscious just kept taking things in. The things that people said to us, all of those words, 24/7, 7 to 8 years of those words, those expressions, those ideas made us who we are. However, we can change those. We can change our paradigm, the way we process information. Now, the current paradigm is going to fight like hell to stay the same because our brain operates perfectly and wants to survive. It says, hey, you're safe. Don't change the way you think. You're alive. You're well. Change. Keep the way you are. Don't change. Don't leave this safe cave. But we know we have to consciously override that if we want to change and continue to grow. We know that there's no more dinosaurs outside that cave. We can go outside and we can get in the sunshine and we can grow and interact with other people. So glad you're here, everybody. You are in the right place. I'm glad you're connecting with me today, this beautiful Sunday. Let me know where you are in the world. I'm in the upstate region of the Thousand Islands, New York. This is my summer place. In the winters, I spend Florida. How about you? Do you have 2 places you spend? Do you move around a lot? Where are you in the world today? And I have to keep reminding myself to say that I'm in New York State. I'm in the United States. A beautiful, calm day in the St. Lawrence River. Because I know that I'm live streaming around the world. Never been a better time to be alive, to connect with other people. Of course, the best way to connect with other people is, right, one-on-one, 1-on-3, 1-on-4, in a group setting, over a cup of coffee, over an adult beverage, eye to eye, look into each other's soul and communicate, have a conversation. But maybe the next best way is like this, you and me. I can't tell you how many people I've connected with just like this. Okay. I can't see you, but you see me, you hear me. Maybe you leave a comment. Maybe you direct message me. You end up emailing me. Maybe then we end up on a Zoom call. We actually develop a friendship. And then down the road, we meet up in person. And all of a sudden, there's been a progression in that relationship. And we look back and think how it started. Shit, I just happened to connect with you on a live stream. And now look at us today. We are great friends. You know, you should go out into the world that same way. Go out into the field, as I like to say. Go out in the field and meet people with a philosophy that, hey, this could be my last spouse that I'm meeting. This could be my next best friend. You never know. But be open-minded and open-hearted to that possibility. And you'll be surprised at what's going to happen. Thank you, everybody, for checking in this morning. Morning Coffee with Cliff. What's up, Bill Clinton? Now, you say that probably with I don't know why you would say Bill Clinton. I'm in better shape than Bill Clinton, my friend. When I think back on Bill Clinton at the time was not of the same political field that I was in. Not that I was in politics. I was a cop, more in a conservative frame of mind. But then looking back, Bill Clinton did something great in 1992. He made it so that if you had a pension and you moved out of California, you no longer had to pay California taxes. You could take your money with you. And Bill Clinton made that possible in 1992. So thank you, Bill Clinton, because you gave me an extra $800 a month as soon as I moved to Florida. So thank you for bringing up Bill Clinton. All right. I don't know if that was an attempt to throw slime on me, but you can try all you want. But you see, no one has the power to affect your emotions or to ruin your day unless you were going to give that power over to another person. Why would you do that? Why would you give a stranger, someone who you don't know, you don't love and care about, who is not in your life, why would you give the power of somebody else to ruin your day? Sometimes you will hear people say, she ruined my day. Well, she couldn't do that without your permission. You would have to give that power away. Why would you do that? Don't give somebody else that power, especially a stranger, to ruin your day. Our conscious mind has a great ability to accept or reject ideas, thoughts, influences. We have that power to make a choice in the moment. All right, everybody. I did not have relations with that woman. All right, swag in your mouth. Good to see you back here on the live stream with another gem of comedy. I did not have relations with that woman. I wonder how many guys who have had an affair have said that to their wives, or wives have said that to their husbands. I did not have relations with that man. Right? I'm not going to keep it one gender. I'm going to keep it all encompassing. Swag in your mouth. Thanks for bringing that humor with me this morning. Hey, everybody, we got 1,000 people jumping on here. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Join the community of progress. That's what I'm all about. Listen, humble beginnings. I grew up in a small town in upstate New York, the village of Caledonia, 3,000 people, right? Small dreams, ambitions. And then I got reading books and seeing a lot of movies, and it kindled a fire within me that said, I want to go to the big city. I want to go somewhere else. There's more. I'm meant for more. You know what? I think I want to join a large metropolitan police force. I ended up joining the Livingston County Sheriff's Department, 50 deputies, but I wanted bigger. I started applying at New York City, Houston, L.A., and then I got hired for the L.A. County Sheriff's Department. I went from 20 deputies in my department to 10,000. Can you imagine? I didn't know anything about gangs, cocaine, heroin, shootings, gang fights and shootings. I didn't know about prison gangs and homicides and murders. And I got exposed to all those wonderful things when I joined the LA County Sheriff's Department, along with a lot of other great things. And starting my stand-up comedy career. But this is okay, I didn't gain much fame in my comedy world, but I got the opportunity to perform on television, to perform at the Roxy on Sunset, to actually perform at the Comedy Store on the Sunset Strip, to the LA Improv, to the Laugh Factory. Oh my goodness, to the Ice House in Pasadena, which became my home comedy club, everybody. A lot of opportunities are going to come our way in the future, too. Let's not just keep looking back. How about we look forward to the great opportunities that are still ahead of us? How many arrests did you make? Probably 1,000. Are you kidding me? 1,000. I worked for the LA Sheriff's Department for 30 years. And when I worked South Central to Los Angeles in Compton, California, we were involved in many arrests. One day my training officer and we made 25 arrests. There was a gang fight, shootings, guns were thrown. The gang gathered. They refused to disperse. We had to call in help, and we had to have helicopters, and we had to call in buses. And it was an exciting time. Now I remember the name of the gang was the Corner Pocket Crips. It was an area of the unincorporated area of L.A. called the Corner Pocket in Willowbrook. It was actually an unincorporated area of the city of L.A., which we patrolled as the L.A. Sheriff. And that gang's area was in the Corner Pocket, and they were Crips. There were Piru Bloods. There were cross-Atlantic Piru Bloods. There was all sorts of, I'm trying to think, there was about 40 gangs, I think, in the area I patrolled in South Central. Thanks for taking me back to those wonderful memories. Those were what we called the cocaine wars in the 1980s. And man, there was a lot of shootings and killings. All right. Thanks for bringing back my memories of murder. Appreciate you. But now we move forward with love and affection and kindness because we can. We have the choice. We're still alive. If you can still fog up a mirror, my friend, you're in the game. You're in life. And why not live it? Hey, tomorrow's not promised. But damn it, today, I get another bite at the apple. And I want you to also. Were you in New York during 9/11? No, I was in Los Angeles. That morning, I was on my way to work at the Universal City substation on the Universal City Walk. There's an area of the Universal City Studios that is an unincorporated area of LA County. So we had a substation there. Now, when you talk about 9/11, I had applied at New York City Police Department in 1983. And I look back and think, wow, thank God I got hired in Los Angeles because I was in LA in the jail for my third year and I was very disgruntled. I actually had my name put back on the NYPD list. I went back to New York, 1987, to continue the process. And a guy in New York City, a detective at the academy, talked me into staying at the LA Sheriff's. And you know what? I probably, if I had gone forward and went back to New York City to the police department, I know I would have wanted to work Manhattan. Who knows? I might have been killed in 9/11. So it's funny how God works. And thank goodness I stayed in LA and I'm alive with you today. I'm very thankful. I got an attitude of gratitude. I'm grateful. And so thanks for the question. What's the most memorable moment you had in the police force? Oh, you know what the most memorable, it's going to be something, it's not going to be an arrest. I think the most memorable moment was, you know, I always think about, as far as a positive moment, working Universal City Walk after 9/11. The atmosphere, the love and affection that everybody from all over the world was showing police. And I say that because when I worked Universal, the City Walk, we were in constant contact with tourists from all over the world. And they just wanted their picture with us. They wanted to hug us. They wanted to put their arms around us and get their picture taken with us. There was a concert at the Universal Amphitheater. And my partner and I were walking on the outskirts of the amphitheater. I don't remember the concert. It was like an hour before it started. As we were walking around the concourse, an elderly lady had got confused and she forgot where her seat was, but she had her ticket. She goes, oh, I don't know where to go. You know, all the doors are the same. And I go, oh, let me walk you to your seat. I know exactly where you're at. And so I just walked this older lady to her seat. So I had to walk inside the amphitheater, hold 6,000 people. There was probably 3,000 or 4,000 people in there already. And when I walked her to her seat, all of a sudden the whole crowd just started applauding me in uniform because I helped this lady. But that was the sentiment at the time towards the police after 9/11. And I just remember how much love and affection people had. And then to later see, now many times it's the fault of the police themselves, but to see how the media began to paint the cops as, out there to hate people and shoot people. And just to see that disintegration of trust and love between regular citizens and the police was sad. But that was a great moment. I'll never forget that time at the Universal Amphitheater, everybody. Thanks for the question. I love it. We're getting great questions today. Morning Coffee with Cliff. I'm glad you're here. I actually am. If you want, let me know where in the world you are. I'm in the Thousand Island region of upstate New York. It's really the backcountry up here. There's not a lot of services. I'm on an island right now. Thank you, everybody, for checking in. I like to go live in the vertical format of YouTube because I know YouTube pushes it into the shorts feed, and I get to connect with people who aren't already subscribed. And that's good because I get a lot more subscribers when I do these lives. And not only do I like content that's real, raw, because there's too much AI-generated BS out there, I like to create that. So I like walking that high wire. I don't know what's going to happen. There are no scripts this morning. There's no notes. I don't have a teleprompter. So when I'm talking to you from my heart, it's from ideas and thoughts that come out of my head. And so in that way, in that regard, I'm glad you appreciate that you and I right now can connect in a real raw way. and really talk about ways that we can live our greatest life starting today. Because yesterday is gone. We can take the learnings, the lessons, and the wisdom forward into today, but we have this. There's only now. Forget regret, or life is yours to miss. That's the lyrics from a great show that I loved, that I saw on Broadway in the 1990s called Rent. Let me know if you saw that show, Rent. All right, we got another comment, which I love. Thanks for interacting with the show this morning. What change do you notice between the policing in your days and nowadays? And are you proud of the trajectory? No, I'm not proud of the trajectory, because there used to be a big emphasis on pro-policing back in the day. In other words, hey, we want to find criminals. We want to catch them before they victimize somebody else. And now, believe it or not, and it's hard to prove, but it's true, there's not much proactive policing out there. Now people, they drive around, cops, and they wait for the call to come in that you've been burglarized. And then they come and they take your report, and they're very friendly. And, hey, how can we help? Oh, I feel bad that you got burglarized. And everybody thinks that's great. What great cops we have. But back in the day, that cop would have been aggressive, and he would have caught those burglars before they got to your house. And he would have saved you the heartbreak and the trouble of having your own private space broken into. But nowadays, cops are reactionary. They're afraid, for good reason. You know, if they make the wrong move, a lot of times as a police officer, you have to make a split-second decision. Now, boom. And then that decision is going to be looked at maybe for 6 months to a year by a group of people. Well, could he or she have done something different? What were their options at the time? Let's ponder that decision. But at the time, you couldn't ponder it. It might have been a life-threatening decision, and you had to make a moment's reaction. And hopefully your training had you make the proper choice. But in the moment, you had no time to wander. No, you had to make a decision. All right, everybody, thanks for the cop questions. How about any stand-up comedian questions? That was my double life at the time. Back in Los Angeles, I was known as LA's comedy cop, because I was a cop by day and a comedian by night. Pretty cool way, you know. And I think that's the best way. If cops today, hopefully, if they could be involved, supported to be involved in other things outside of police work, so that you're always in touch with other people who aren't cops, it keeps you grounded in the knowledge that you're no better. You've been entrusted. You have discretionary power and authority to make certain decisions over other people. You better respect that, and you better be going forward with the right intentions for the right reasons and the right ways. And when it's allowed and safe to do so, you're going forward with kindness and an act of service to others. And that's the way that we can continue to live life, with an act of service to others. All right, everybody, I'm glad you're checking in. I'm Cliff Yates. Yeah, you're in the right place. If you have any resonance with self-improvement, personal growth, getting better every day in every way than we were yesterday, then you're in the right place. All right, I got another question by Swag in Your Mouth. Did you ever work your experiences as a cop into your act? Yes, all the time. Of course, I was real. I had a famous teacher. Well, she's not. She had an HBO special once. She's still out there, Judy Carter. She says, no, Cliff, I never wanted to talk about my police career and my comedy. She goes, no, Cliff, you have a real life. Most comedians don't. They have to make it up, or they all talk about the same shit. You have a unique viewpoint. Talk about your police work. It can be funny. I used to do this thing. Man, I'm a cop by day, a comedian by night. Sometimes I confuse my jobs. The other night, I was working overtime on my cop job. Walked up to a car. I leaned in. Then the spotlight of my police car hit me in the face. I started going into my comedy routine. I got confused. I said to the people in the car, so how you folks doing tonight? Are you from out of town? So that's the kind of things that I would talk about. I would try to bring police work and comedy together, right? Comedy is about bringing two opposing things that don't really fit together, putting them together, and have a comedic experience happen by combining two things that don't mix. And that can be fun, right? Cop by day, comedian by night. I confuse my jobs. Thanks for that question, everybody. I appreciate it. LA's comedy cop. That's what I was known as in Los Angeles. I had my full-time cop job, so I didn't get a chance to headline too much. I was more of an opener. I opened for some great headliners. One of them was New Jersey's bad boy, Mike Marino, still a full-time comedian today. He does a lot of his work on the cruise ships. But him and I got to perform in the many great comedy clubs. One not too far from here, just outside of Syracuse, Turning Stone Casino. He was able to hire his own opening act, me. So those are relationships and experiences I couldn't do on my own because I didn't have those experiences with bookers or comedy clubs or casinos or venues. But he was able, through his experiences and the trust that they had in him, that he could hire his own openers. And so when he could, he would hire me. Thanks for the question, everybody. Glad you connected with me this morning. Morning Coffee with Cliff, you're in the right place. We get a lot of people chiming in here from all over the world. I got Louisiana in the house. Oh, I got Canada in the house. And who else? Maybe we just have North America today. I don't know, unless you chime in and you let me know where you are in the world. Did anybody watch the World Cup last night? I have not watched any World Cup games until last night. I had a friend of mine who is a fan and was rooting for Argentina, who was playing Switzerland last night. And one of their famous guys, Messi. It was Messi Mania. And it was quite a match last night. I'm glad I watched it. It went till 11:30 Eastern time here. And it was a great match. It was 1-1. Had to go into extra time. And then Argentina did win. So they move along. It was quite exciting. All right, everybody. I'm glad you're connecting here with me this morning. Morning Coffee with Cliff. You're in the right place. I don't know if you can hear that boat out there. I got some fishermen outside. It's a beautiful, calm morning here. It's already warm and hot. Maybe I won't work out today. I'm working out on the island using body weight exercises, and I'll probably do some jumping rope. Morning Coffee with Cliff, everybody. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, glad you're here. You're in the right place. Our ability. You know what? We have unlimited potential within us. We get caught up in our five senses, that's how we operate in the world. But if we start operating from the higher frequencies, we operating from a positive vibration, we start to communicate with a world that our five senses can never understand. We want to operate from the higher frequencies, everybody. We want to take advantage of our higher faculties of perception, will, our creative imagination. We've been endowed with great memories, intuition, and we can reason things out. These are higher faculties that the animals, as far as we know, they operate by instinct alone. But we, God's highest form of creation, the human being, we have all these available to us if we will use them. Our unlimited potential is a choice that we have to make. And that's what I'm all about. If that resonates with you in any way, please subscribe to the channel. You are in the right place. Damn it. We're going to make this a great day. You know how you have a great year? You work it backwards. A great year is 12 months, 365 days. Let's break it down to the ridiculousness. And that's the way to really get better every day in every way than we were yesterday, is to break it down, break life down into its ridiculousness. This is how we have a great year. Okay, we're going to have a great year. But that's going to have to start with, let's have a great month. Because there's 365 days, but how many months? 12. All right, we can have a great month for sure. We can concentrate on that. Now let's break it down even more. Let's break it down to weeks. 52 weeks. All right, I can have a great week starting right now, today, this Sunday. Well, you know what? We can break that down into the ridiculousness. Forget weeks. How about a day? Let's break it down to today. to have a great year, I'm going to reverse engineer this coming December back to today, right now. I can make this a great day. And how do I do that? Let's break it down even more. I'm going to have a great hour. And I thought this to myself about an hour and a half ago. I said, hey, wait a minute. If I'm going to have a great day, I'm going to have a great hour. I'm having my morning coffee. And just saying morning coffee says, well, what about morning coffee with Cliff? Turn the damn camera on. You've been studying personal growth, self-improvement, philosophies for a great life for 35 years. If you're to the point where you can't turn the damn camera off and speak from your mind, through your heart, out your mouth, without a script, without notes, without a teleprompter, then you better get back to studying some more. But believe me, I study on a daily basis. I will be reading an hour today, trying to get better, trying to read about maybe some philosophies, maybe rereading things I've already learned, but I want to relearn. Repetition is the mother of skill. Things that I might want to share on a podcast later tonight. I have it in my head to record a podcast. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to write that down. I'm going to carve out that hour. I will take some notes for that podcast. Now on Morning Coffee with the Cliff, I freewheel it, baby, because there's something about that. There's some kind of excitement, high wire act type of mentality that says, turn on the damn camera. Don't worry about having a plan. Don't worry about having notes or a teleprompter or a script. Do you know and you know her what you know? Do you have something valuable you can share without having to read from something? Of course I do. We got to have that confidence in ourselves. You have it, I have it, everybody has it. If somebody has done something that you want to do, well, you can do it too. Who says you can't do it? Only one person, and that's you. No one else is going to come up and say, hey, you can't do that. Only your self-talk will tell you, I can't do that. I know they've done it. I see that they've done it. I want to do it, but I can't do that. Bullshit, you can do it. If anybody has done anything, you can do it. You have just as much potential. You have just as much thinking power. We are kind of driven by our emotions. And where do our emotions come from? How are they caused, right? Cause and effect. Our emotions that we're feeling is by our thoughts. What we're thinking about and the meaning that we give to things. It's actually the meaning that we give to everything that's happening for us that causes our emotions, which directly causes our frequency, our vibration. And that's what causes magnetism. That's where the law of attraction comes out of. The law of attraction is a secondary power. Before the law of attraction, there's the law of vibration. That's what we attract to us. That's what gets attracted to us. Things that are on the same vibration and frequency. That's why when you get it into your head and you put in your subconscious mind with strong emotion, things that you want and desire, why does the world conspire to manifest that into its physical reality? Because we're on the same vibration and frequency as that. I am so reminded of this on a daily basis, and then I look back and think, how many more examples do I need to see, hear, and experience of how I have created the outside circumstances that I've experienced or I'm experiencing? When I think about great love in my life, great connection and great friendships, I realize I've been open to that. When I look back on how those relationships started, how I got connected with these wonderful people and those wonderful people, then I realized, I was open to it at the time. So we have to continue to be that and expand and express more. We can't live on a foundation of yesterday. We have to live on 3 pillars for a great life on a constant and daily basis. Yeah, one pillar is financial. We actually need a certain amount of money to survive and to have some of the things that we have in our life. The second pillar is relationships. When it comes down to it, we are a direct reflection of our relationships, not only our friendships and loves, but also the 5 people that we're most around. And what's the third pillar? Our health and fitness. How can I forget pillar number 3? One of the most important is health, fitness, and strength. We're going to age. I'm an example of that. I've actually aged to 68. I'm going to continue to age if God willing. All glory to God that if I continue to age, I can't stop aging, but what I can stop is getting frail and weak. We can't stop aging, but we can stop becoming frail and weak. There's going to be a natural decline to a certain extent, but we don't have to have that deep dip that most of us in our American culture and way of life happens to most of us. Most people get to their 60, 65, and there is a deep decline in their health and strength. Does not have to be. It's been proven that we can gain muscle. Even in our 80s, you can gain muscle. So why wouldn't you be doing weight-bearing exercises? You can increase your bone density. You can increase your muscle mass. And if you're not doing that, you're going to really set yourself up for a deep decline. Because if you don't get after it, and if you wait until you're too old to get after it, you're never too old to start. Oh, I have some kayakers going by, and oh, it's good. Maybe they'll give me a wave when they go by. I don't know them, but I will say hi to them. Hey, and I can take this moment out and wave as they go by in the kayaks. Hello, ladies. I got a couple ladies going by in the kayak. Thanks for connecting with me today on a real raw way. Appreciate you. Always with an attitude of gratitude. That's what we can go forward in life. Even when we are confronted with troubles and challenges and tragedies. When I look back on some of the tragedies and the heartbreaks in my life, and I think to myself, wow, when I was in the midst of it, when I was in the middle of it, I thought this was the worst thing that could happen to me in life. This despair is, and then I look back and think, wow, if that hadn't happened, then these cascades of great events wouldn't have happened. So now I have to realize, think about that scripture in the Bible. I think it's James 1, where he writes, count it all joy. In your trials and tribulations, count them all joy. Ooh, that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Right? It's like Philippians 4. Do not be anxious about anything, but in all situations, with prayer, petition, and with thanksgiving, submit all your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. It's hard. It's not easy. But the greatest rewards I have found are from the hard things. Do hard things. You know what? Do them on purpose. We don't have to. When you start doing the hard things in life on purpose, life becomes easier. That's the paradox. See, that's another great thought that just came into my head. I'm going to wait to share that with maybe, dude, why does your camera look like it's from 1989? Oh, does it really? Because I actually have an expensive camera. Maybe it's not focused. I don't know why that is. All right, thanks for telling me. I don't know. Maybe I'll start using my iPhone, but it's actually a Canon M50. So I don't know. All right. I'll do better. JK from PA. All right. Why does your camera look like it's from 1989? Let me know in the chat, everybody, if my camera looks like it's from 1989. I can actually adjust some things. Oh, maybe. Oh, but that's going to be too bright. I don't know if that's any better. I don't know. We'll try that. I think that's a little better. All right, everybody. We had a lot of, I don't know. Maybe I'll start using my iPhone as my web camera. I don't know why. Maybe it's not as clear. I'm going to check it on their playback. I'm going to check things out. I'll review it. All right, everybody. Thanks for checking in this morning. I'll see you in the next episode. Morning Coffee with Cliff has ended.